Coming up on today's episode, good Thursday afternoon to you all YouTube. It is 2:04 now in the PM. Very nice sunny day out there today. I had a bit of a problem yesterday. It's my own doing, but the weather here got suddenly warm, and I really had no intentions of doing this early, but I did. The temperature inside the house here was almost 85 degrees. It was 84, pushing 85, and I decided to go ahead and turn the AC on, which I don't normally do until at least June. But, you know, days like this, you just about have to have something. It was 89 outside yesterday here in Seymour, so, you know, gets warm, you got to do what you got to do. I slept much better last night with the AC on, and so that makes a big difference too. So this is going to be my Friday flap, I guess. Wanted to kind of go over a couple things that I'm doing. I'm going to flash up a picture of what's on the bench right down here that you can't see, but I'll flash that picture up and you can see. You'll see that there's 5 kits there in various stages of being assembled, and what that's all about is I got 2 to mail out right away. They're paid for, and waiting on the boards from China to come in today. This review that George Christophe did really does a big favor as far as our sales. We got a big bump, 7 in one day, and then I had enough to do 5 left in the inventory, and got those out right away. But then we've been waiting on this, and we had already ordered new boards even before that happened. So like I said, we decided, or we had to wait on the boards to come in before we could send out the 2 more kits, and that's what I'm waiting on now. Mail hasn't run yet today. So that's one of the things. Then I found, after I was putting the kits together, that our speakers have dwindled down to only 1. So we've got 2 kits to mail out, so I need 2. So basically what I've done was ordered 10 more from a U.S. company, and hopefully those will arrive quickly. Who knows? All Electronics Corporation, I've ordered from them before and usually had pretty good luck getting things shipped pretty quick, and so hopefully that will work out. And so I've got those coming in, and maybe get that out at the beginning of the week at least. Hopefully, and so that's that. Also, on the power supply, I wanted to go over that a little bit. You guys, we left off with, I had a couple of problems with it. Most of the problems have been resolved. The main one is the LED light, not coming on properly. And Bob and I did a troubleshooting session where basically he was telling me what to check, and I was checking, and I had checked the transistor that he wanted me to check, and I'm going to flash up a picture of the component tester results of that. You'll see that the transistor apparently tested good, but I had some more of those on hand, and I went ahead and replaced it anyway, and once I did that, it worked fine. So Bob says probably, you know, it was leaky, and so again, you know, that may be the case, who knows. But sometimes the testers don't always tell you all the complete truth. So, you know, you just kind of have to try your best to, with Bob, you've got somebody there that knows what the circuit should be doing. And, if it doesn't do that, then, there's got to be a reason. And I'd already checked the resistors around it to make sure those were in spec, and they were. And like I said, so at first it was kind of funny, because at first we thought it didn't fix it because I had no load on the power supply. And once I put a load on it, it worked just fine. As long as the amperage was sufficient for that device that we had connected, the light was out completely. And as soon as the current dropped below that, by adjusting the control, the light would come on solid. So that's exactly how it's supposed to work. So anyway, that's that part. Now the other part was the little box you guys remember I made for the little wall wart, and it turns out the little wall wart is the source of our noise. And those little Chinese switching power supplies, this is the actual one here. And like I said, those are known and notorious for putting a lot of RFI out. And so I have another item coming in the mail. I ordered off eBay. It's a very small transformer. I'll flash up a picture of that as well. It's a triad, I think. Can't remember exactly what it is, but I think it's only a 115 primary, and secondary, it's a dual secondary. I believe it's 24 volt across, and then if it's center tapped, it's 12 volts. So that will be fine for powering the meter. I think it goes up to 30 volts it will take on powering the meter. So I'm just going to basically put a couple of diodes in a full wave rectifier in it, and maybe a 33 UF cap across it, and call that good. And hopefully that should be fine, do well enough to provide the lighting that we need for the meter. So hopefully that will be the case. And that is a PC mount transformer, so I'll take a piece of perp board and mount it on that along with the two diodes in the cap, and that should fit basically right in the same place that this fit, so shouldn't be a problem. The measurements on that transformer, I think, are a little over an inch in all directions. In other words, it's an inch this way, inch this way, and inch this way. So like I said, it should fit in there in that same spot pretty easily, pretty handily, or whatever I'll call it. And that's probably what I'll do. And I may even use the same box, if it fits, to basically secure it to the one location, so it doesn't bounce around inside the obviously the box is not deep enough, or high enough, or whatever you want to call it, to get that done. But at least it would sit into the box itself, I think. So that will be upcoming as well. I'll show you that when it's done. And we'll also do another demonstration with the radio, make sure it works right now. And hopefully that kind of fixed our other problems. The other problems were really kind of minor, but one of the things is there's a potentiometer on there that you're supposed to set your zero voltage, and that doesn't seem to do anything. It comes up at zero and stays at zero no matter how that pot is turned. So again, that's not a problem. I couldn't, wouldn't think it's a problem. But and then the other thing was the fact that it has a time sometimes when you turn it on, you can adjust the voltage up and it won't come up. It's like it's dead or just not active or something. And I don't know if that's maybe a loose control on the pot. It is one of these pots that I use the the connector on the motherboard, or the circuit board, to basically connect the pot to the board. So I don't know if it's a problem with those or what, but usually turning it on, turning it back off again, or turning it off, turning it back on again, fixes the problem. So again, that's not a major problem, obviously. So I doubt that we'll probably even do anything with that. Just kind of watch it, make sure it's working properly, and that'll be about it. So what else is going on this Thursday? Bob is busy working, or was busy. I guess he still is. I don't know. Haven't talked to him for a while, but he had been working on a battery eliminator kit for our business, and if that comes to fruition, I should say, I will let you guys know. Also, I got caught up in the Casey and Vicky White ordeal out of Alabama. I don't know how many of you guys did watch any of that, but it was just kind of funny that the way it happened and everything. It was interesting to me, because I worked in the jail for 13 years, and stuff like that kind of interests me. So I kind of followed that, and I forget what day it was, but I was watching Virtual Rail Fan, one in Elkhart, Indiana, and it was just the right time, right place. You know how that goes. And I saw a lady that looked an awful lot like Vicky White, and she was kind of, I won't say pacing, but she was walking down this way, and she walked there, and then later on, I saw her get, when the Amtrak train came into the station, I saw her get with a guy who was very tall, and he had a hat. She had a hat on too, as a matter of fact, a hat and everything, and he was carrying some bags, and she was carrying bags. The waddle. She was supposed to have a waddle, and man, I tell you what, it was very pronounced in the way she looked when she was getting on the train with those bags. She's waddling, and I thought, man, that looks an awful lot like them. And I even sent in a tip to the U.S. Marshals website for that, and gave them a link to the video and everything. And so it was the next day, or even maybe, I think it was the next day, when they found them in Evansville, Indiana. So now I got to looking at the train schedules, and I guess there is a train that runs Amtrak into Evansville, and there was one that went from Elkhart to Evansville. So I don't know, if it was actually them or not. I never heard no more about it, and haven't seen anything about it on the news. But I tell you what, that sure to me looked like them. And they had some bags, and they had said something about they left behind in the motel a bunch of camping equipment. So I don't know, because they had supposedly been in Evansville for at least a week. So what's to say they didn't take a trip on the train up to Elkhart and do some looking around or whatever, and and then come back. I don't know, but anyway, that was just kind of funny. And so it was, like I say, it was on Virtual Rail Fan. I screen recorded it. Went back and you can go back in time and do that. So I did. I made a screen recording of it, and I showed it to Bob. Bob didn't say too much about it, and I tell you what, it sure looked like them to me. But that's just me, I guess. So I haven't been doing much of anything. I didn't sleep well the night before last because of the heat. I was too hard-headed to turn on the air. So last night I said, I'm not going to have another night like that. So I turned on the air, and it cooled right down in here. And I think it's, again, like the humidity. I don't think it's so much the heat, because 84 is not that hot. But I guess when you're in an enclosed space and everything like that, the humidity is pretty bad. So and that's probably what it was. So anywho, that's that. Watched Bill on his radio today. This is I was looking for a Silvertone. I kept looking for a Silvertone. Now I've come to find out it's a Continental, and I did find that no problem at all. But I didn't know it was Continental. I thought it was Silvertone, and I don't. Is this one that's Silvertone or Continental made for Sears or what? I don't know, but. Anywho, that was he found a schematic on that. Was good, so I'm glad he got that. That dial, probably you're right, Bill, on the dial. The only way of getting that glass off is to bend those tabs, and those tabs, and you know it, and I know it, have a tendency to break off. Now I'm not saying they would break, If you only did them once, I don't know. But you know, everything, it's just like the little volume control tabs and things like that. Those tend to break off too if you do them a lot. Some of them do it, you know, if you do it once. So you know, it's really a crapshoot on that, whether or not it would work out or not. So unless you can find another way of getting that apart, I don't see any way of doing it. So speaking of the AC, it just kicked on. I've got a vent over here, down here. Down there, I guess is what. So I can feel it blowing on me now, and hopefully these speakers will come in fairly quick. I tell you what, it's really getting hard to find the speakers. And anybody that comes up with a place to get some at a reasonable cost, and that's the whole thing. You know, if you're paying more for the speaker than you do for the whole kit, then really not worth supplying that. And so you know, Bob and I have been talking about that a lot, and this battery eliminator thing that we're coming up with, we're thinking about just supplying the PCB for that, and you know, letting people get their own components, because one of the things is a transformer, and those are you know, they're kind of hard to find, and they are kind of hard to find if you buy a new one or whatever. So I'm leaning more towards the option of us providing the components, or them, and like the amplifier that we're doing, the 20 watt. I think that's the same thing. We can provide the components that make the amp, but as far as the power supply, which is going to require a transformer, you know, maybe let them supply that. Give them the specs they need and things like that. I think that might be the best way to go on that. I don't know, just my opinion. I hope I'm in frame here, because I'm looking at the camera and it seems like it might be pointed up a little bit. I can't tell from the angle, but you know, it might be. I'm looking right at the lens, but at the same time it's you know, at eye level, but at the same time it's pointed up just a hair. So I don't know. I've also, the screen behind the camera, I've got set to a white background, I guess, and so that there's light coming off of it. And I've thought about the little LEDs, strip LEDs that I bought for the living room monitor, because those are just too close. Now in here they would be just about right to provide light for, you know, the subject behind the camera that way. I may try to put those in here and see if that works any better. So just some of the things I'm working on doing. The other thing I was thinking of working on was, every time I go past my kitchen table, I look at see all of the stuff on there. I'm thinking about seriously doing some of those radios that are on that. One of them is the Ward's Airline Gen 1257. This is all from memory. I don't remember if that was the number, but it was basically the I think it was a tube type, but it was just a simple AM FM, I believe, and I think the only thing wrong with it was the filter capacitor, and I think I fixed that with no problem. But then it had some minor other cabinet problems. There was some of the plastics that broke off. I was going to epoxy those, and that made me got to thinking, I don't really know if I've got any epoxy left, to tell you the truth. So I probably need to get some epoxy and work on that and get that back together so I can set it in a different place than sitting on that table. I really like to clean that off and get everything cleaned off and get everything back to normal. Would be nice, but you know how that works. So I guess that's about it on that. Don't think there's anything else. I thought about taking out or going outside and doing this, but you know, it's a little warm out there now. You know, at first it was too cold, now it's too warm. So here I am sitting at the bench. But like I said, I'm going to get this as soon as the parts come in for this power supply meter power thing. I want to get that done. I'm waiting on these speakers to get those mailed out, and that's going to catch me up a little bit unless we get some more orders. Seems like every time we have an order like that, it takes another week or two, and then we get some more orders. But like I said, I told Bob, I said, this may be our month to slow way down, because the first 2 months that we had the thing, we were in about the same amount of kit sales. So we're really working on, that was the other thing. We're working on this simple AM. Plus, I do have the boards for that now. Any of you beta testers that are watching this, kind of be waiting for that. I should be sending you an email soon on that, and telling you that we're going to be mailing those out to you, and giving you some heads up on some things that need to be looked at and observed or whatever. And so we'll be doing that. So we have parts ordered for 20 boards, and those are in, I believe, Denver, and I think the tracking says they will be here Saturday. So we're hoping to get this going pretty quickly and get that out there and have some people, that want an AM transmitter, and it works out pretty good. So hoping that will work out good, and so that's that. I think that's about it. Oh, I did get this. This was a kind of funny. I don't know if I mentioned this or not. This came by Amazon the other day. The Amazon truck here in Seymour. They deliver here in Seymour, and it's kind of funny because I ordered that and it came with a FedEx tracking number, and I got the tracking number pretty quick and started tracking it like I always do. And the day I started tracking, it said it was going to be delivered that day. Well, I was like, that's great. So, I looked at the thing later on the day. It said it was delivered. I didn't have it. So I contacted the seller, and I told him what the situation was. He says, no problem. He says, I'll refund your money. He says, but you may still get that. And I said, okay. So I did get it. So, like I said, it's kind of weird the way that worked. But like I say, I probably need to contact him and go ahead and pay him back again for it, because I did get it. But like I said, it's just weird the way that the whole thing was. I don't know if he mistakenly gave me the wrong tracking information or what, but whatever the case was, I do have it now. And basically that's the same as I'm using, that I use for my panel here, my MFP, to paint the white plastic to black, and this is black, and it's just the acrylic paint, and I had painted several of those panels, and I'm just about out of the black that I had. Those little tubes don't hold that much, and but they do work out really good to paint the plastic stuff. So really happy with the way that turned out. Oh, I painted the one for the Kaiweets meter, and that worked out nice. So happy with the black especially. So I guess if I start painting some other stuff, other colors, then I'll probably have to buy some other colors. But I think this was only $3 and something for 8 ounces. Not bad. So if you guys ever want to get it, that's Apple Barrel is what it is. It says matte black. Well, it didn't say matte black. It says Apple Barrel matte. And then it's got color of black, so I guess it's matte. I don't know. Whatever. That's that. Let's see, what else is there? Anything else? I never do write a script for this thing. I should probably. I've been using this. I don't know how you can see that. How well you can see that, but I have a bunch of check mark boxes here on the sides of the description of the part. And each time I do this time I did 5 kits, and when I get 5 kits parts out on the bench in front of the bag that's going into, I check it off, and that's how I've been doing this, and that's been working out really good. And so as long as I remember to check it, and I have been doing that very faithfully to do that. So like I said, I got the speakers, and you probably couldn't see it on here, but there's no check mark by the speakers, which I didn't have enough. So that was that. I do have one, and like I said, we're getting to the point where those are getting really, really hard to source. And if anybody again has we're looking for maybe a 40 millimeter to a 57 millimeter, something in that size range. I really don't like to go below 40 millimeters, and anything above 57, I think that's 2 1/4 inches, something like that. I think that's probably maybe a little too big as far as getting in a small cabinet. So, that's kind of what we're looking to provide. Now, we had talked about just doing away with the speaker option, because there's a lot of people that are not even using the speaker. which, you know, it's people's business, whatever they do with it. But at the same time, I kind of like to give them an option if I can. We may do a thing in the future of if because I've got 10 more orders. I've got 10 more ordered from like I said, all electronics. Those should be in soon, and I had already ordered 10 from China some time ago, but those, according to tracking, probably won't be here before May 26th. So that's far off a little bit. So again, we're gonna try to get everything. I like to have them on hand if somebody wants one. After we go through this bunch here, I think what we'll do is just you know, when those come in, just give people the option if they're going to use this speaker, or if they're going to use another speaker, then we won't bother sending it. Again, you know, the latest ones we bought from All Electronics were $1 a piece, basically the same price as the one from China, but the difference is the shipping. Paid $10 in shipping basically from All Electronics, whereas the Chinese shipping, I think, with the pretty sure with the shipping and everything, it was around $13, I think, instead of $20. So that's the difference there. That's why we try to get them from China if we can. Again, we're not making much money on stuff like this for what we're doing. We're trying to keep our costs down where we're not losing money. So that's the main thing. And so that's that. I think I have yapped on long enough. I probably forgot about half what I wanted to say, but it is what it is. Like I say, beautiful day out there, waiting on the mail to run. When it gets in, I'll put the bag, or put the what are they? Boards, the PCBs, into the bags. The way I do this, I don't know if I showed anybody. This is the main bag for the main computer or components for the main PCB. The main PCB goes in this bag along with all the components for this board, and that's the way I do that one. And then for the probe itself, I have a separate bag, a smaller bag, and all the components in the board for it go in that bag. And then both of the bags, smaller bags, go into a larger bag, and that's the way we ship it. And that's been working out really, really good for us, and so I think that's the way we'll continue to do this. Bob's got the source down for the bags in case I think we bought 100 at a time with the last bunch, and those are going down pretty quick. So we may have to reorder them again. And the envelopes are just the 6x9 brown manila, whatever you want to call them, envelopes, and with the clips or the clasps on them. Those have been working out good. The labels that we bought are working out good with our printer. And so everything's working out good there as far as our shipping is concerned. I would like to get, once I get my shelves that I want to get with the extra money that I get, if I ever get it, I want to get the whole shipping operation moved to my room and use the old desk that I use for my workbench. I'm going to use that for the shipping. And I'll basically keep all the parts. I've already got the simple AM Plus parts in a box, much like the BDST box that I've got here. And all that it's really easy to do. That way you put the box out, get your parts out for 5 or 10 or whatever you make, kits to send out. And then you can put it back on the shelf or wherever you're storing it at, and it works out really nice. So trying to get that streamlined as best as possible. And so that's what we're doing there. So that's a good look at what's going on here in DERB land. And so, that was the other thing. I have been working on, see, I keep remembering things. Been working on some stuff, and I did this. I'll flash this picture up if I can find it. I think I couldn't find it the other day. But this was an open field, and you guys remember me talking about Hillary Klug, the dancing fiddler player, and I had taken one of her. She always makes the narrow, and Bill hates these, and I don't really like them either. But she makes those narrow window videos a lot, and I took one of them where she was doing that, and I did a capture on it. And then this Paint 3D that comes with Windows 10 will take and basically eliminate the background from, if you have you basically just put the box around her, and it eliminates everything around, that's behind her. And that works pretty good. And you'll see this picture. Basically, that's what I did. I took that Paint 3D and made it take the background from her, and I put her out in this field, which, I was just playing around, but I wanted to see how well it worked, and I think it worked pretty good. So I'll let you take a look at that if I can find it. Hopefully I found it and I flashed it up, so we'll see. But but why I was talking about that was I've been working on trying to get Windows 10, Windows 7, and MX Linux all bootable on my computer, and it's been really a pain in the butt. But I think I may have worked it out as far as why it's not working as it should. Windows 7 and MX will boot fine from the REFIND, whatever it is, bootloader, and that works fine. But if I tried to boot Windows 10, basically it starts the little circle starts the thing, and then the screen goes blank, and that's it. And I don't know why, but that's the way that works. So I think, according to what I've been reading, I think that Windows 10 drive, because it used to work, and I think the problem is I switched around. I had the Windows 10 drive as drive 0, the first drive, and then MX Linux was drive 2 or 1 or whatever, the next drive, and then the one that I could slide in and out, the third drive, I had Windows 7 on that. Well, that was working fine then, but then I moved it around, put Windows 7 on the internal drive, which is drive 0. Once I did that, then Windows 10 stopped working because I put it on that external drive, and it won't unless I take the other two drives out of the mix in BIOS and then just boot Windows 10. It'll boot fine then, but that's a pain in the butt every time you want to try to boot Windows 10. Or is to me anyway, so I don't know. So, like I said, I've been working on that, trying to get that fixed too. So I'm always doing something, even if I'm not doing anything. You know how that works. So, but that's a look at what's going on here, and I think I'm going to shut up now because I've just talked and talked and talked and talked. But I wanted to kind of make another flapping video. I hadn't made one of them in probably a week. So, like I said, that's a look at what's going on here in DERB land, and you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see ya.